south of Town on a cold and stormy night, with the snow blowers roar and taillight arrows, a case not black nor white. The truth must show through snowbanks deep and dramas glow, with solo cups out high we plead what really happened to poor John O'Keefe. Karen, she took the stand with the world glued to the stream. The whispers flew like nor'easter winds. Was it love or a deadly scheme? The justice flow like bourbon round the backyard snow, with neighbors watching cold and tight. Did she pack up wrong with the frame that night? They say the party raged indoors while John lay still in snow so wide, but some cry out this doesn't fit.
Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and we have a breakdown and the wheel of excuses to explain today, with the full disclosure that some of the Scientology made about as much sense to me as, well, anything science related with computers and timestamps and all of that. Basically, we started off today with Alessi still doing his cross of Burgess. Now, whatever transpired in the night between, him going to sleep and then waking up, it seems like there was maybe a little bit of a plan on redirect, but we will get to that. So we start with experience and certification and reliability. That, criminal cases are built on reliability and, things being accurate. Now, 5 times or more yesterday or the day before, when Burgess had testified, he said that timelines were accurate down to the second. Again, all his own words, all coming out of his mouth. Now, the problem with this is that his timelines are all correct except a full 24 hours off. He managed to screw up the date on all of his slides. Now, he continued to contend that they were accurate down to the second, minus the 24 hours. So, let's go with the wheel of excuses. And we have that he misheard the question. He did mishear the question. That is what happened. So when he was asked, is it all, down to the second, he simply forgot that they were a day off. Now, again, all of those timelines were off because they were off by a day, but he continued to say that, no, super duper accurate. He went back to the January 30th report and basically, stated that all of the things that he was putting in the May 7th report, he really didn't get into in the January report. The January report was more of a proposal and didn't really have all of these things. Again, he also skipped one of the steps in the, scientific method, the analyzing or rendering an opinion. Now, we got into a lot of trigger talk. We did get that he had looked at Ian Whiffin's report that had an additional, lock event at, 26 seconds after this so-called trigger event. Now, he still stayed on the, hey, I have calculated it. There's time drift, time dilation. We are dealing with some Inception-like crap over here. That being said, there was a lot of talk about Mr. DeSobra, who is going to be a defense witness that is going to come in and basically say everything that Mr. Burgess said was completely wrong. So he tried to claim that, Mr. DeSobra didn't know what he was talking about. He was the smart one, not you. Now, basically, then we got into his conclusion, and basically he had a slightly different or fairly different premise from what he put in the May 7th. Now, there was also an increase of 3 seconds in the discrepancy from the January 3rd report. And he continues to claim that he did this report out of the goodness of his heart. No one asked him to do this. He didn't talk to, Mr. Brennan, nothing like that. Then we kind of went back to, you blamed a lot of this on this, data discrepancy on Maggie Gaffney, from failing to extract the micro SD thing and not trying to download everything when, Burla hadn't actually come up with a sort of hands-free USB cord download. So basically, again, showing that this man who has, for all intents and purposes, let's spin the wheel to see why he lied on his CV. Why did Mr. Shannon Burgess lie on his CV? He is into holistic education. Yes, that's right. Holistic education. That is why he lied. I'm beginning to remember how much I loved the wheel of, excuses. Now, Brennan on Redirect talked about the sequestration order and how, of course, he so totally didn't watch this, and that he did, state that he is pursuing, his education, even though, according to the internet, not the court, but according to scuttlebutt upon the internet, he has not been enrolled since 2015. So I am pursuing my master's in, lawyerology. I simply dropped out of college twice and haven't gotten to my JD yet. My notes kind of devolved, not going to lie, into God will it ever end, Lord Brennan, shut up. Again, there was a lot of dissection of Mr. De Sobra's report. Again, I have never seen a report from another expert being used before that expert's ever been presented and kind of debated. This seems like a rebuttal sort of conversation, but I guess since the defense didn't say anything, they were allowed to do it. So they did go over the trigger events and how Mr. De Sobra was terribly wrong. They also talked about, just, again, the trigger events, how they totally happened, how with the, time drift, dilation, crapospecmatic, whatever happened between the Lexus the Lexus infotainment and something or other system. It's totally cool. Trust us, bro. No one else in this entire case, none of the other experts used this particular formula with a variance in time shift between 21 and 29 seconds, which in a case where seconds and minutes count is ridiculous. Now, I will just tell you that Mr. Burgess's little tufto shame up here was trying to leave the building. There was a point at which the hairs up here knew that the jig was up and they were trying to leave because it went from so this hair went from here to cheer to the little Superman twist right over cheer. And then it kind of tried to grow back like it was hiding and trying to get away and maybe escape to witness protection on the back of his head and or his back. So the tuft of shame was trying to leave the building is all I've got to say. Now on Alessi recross, because at the end, Hanky Panky decided, it was like, you have never lied on a court document about your education, have you? Well, it seems that Alessi was prepared for this because it looks like, now, according to Mr. Burgess, not him, and let's do this. Why did Aperture, send in a bad CV? Because Mr. Burgess totally didn't. And Mr. Burgess has no, relation to how his CV is written. Oh, let's see. They misheard him. So obviously they misheard that he has pended graduation for longer than Van Wilder, or the guy from PCU. If you've ever watched it, great movie, predicted a lot of ridiculousness that we're seeing now. I loved it. Not appropriate for children. But that's basically where we ended it. He was proven to, either him or Aperture, to have given a fairly deceptive or misleading CV to the court, in the federal court. Now, again, according to the internet, and this is the internet, this is speculation, the man has not been enrolled in any sort of higher education program since 2020 or 15. So, putting your imaginary wished for, I'm going to graduate in 2024, is also considered a lie if you are not in any way working toward that. Yes, I am pursuing, my modeling career, but since I don't like to wear makeup, I'm not going to any modeling shows, and I'm never going to be a size zero. It's not going to happen. Like, as far as my clinical, subclinical diagnosis of Mr. Burgess's, descension into cranial rectitis, I am afraid that he has gone all the way in to such a point that he's going to have to pull a Lemmy Winks to get his head firmly reattached to his body, because I don't like people who lie to me. I don't like people who are actively cherry picking evidence and not, representing that to the court. I don't like companies who don't do a good job, figuring out who their employees are. Aperture is, basing all of its, capital, its ability to get new clients on the fact that both of these witnesses are reliable, educated, and completely competent in what they do. And the fact that he couldn't get bit or bite or, the right date on these slides, but he wants to comment and denigrate other people's work who actually have degrees. And no, I don't think you need a degree. As Brennan pointed out, you don't. But when you lie about having one and then you don't, that makes you a dick. Now, after this, we had, oh goodness, what is her name? We had Kristen Handley come in. Now, she was the basically the trace lab scientist who looked at the pieces of glass to see on the bumper. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and we need the wheel of excuses, because how did uno piece of glasso turn into 5 pieces? Let's see. Give it a whirl. Misheard. No, we're gonna. I guess misheard is what it wants to be today, because that's double. So, yeah, apparently somehow this one piece of glass became multiple pieces of glass. This has happened several times in this trial. While we are still on Mr. Lawley cross-examining her, it looks like there might be a little bit of a delay on her further testimony, because it does seem like Dr. Welsher or someone is going to be coming in the morning and testifying before her due to scheduling. It looks like this is not confirmed, so this is what I'm guessing. Again, if you haven't heard, speculation station, that's what I'm thinking. That being said, all in all, my takeout away from the day is that, just like Valhalla has said many times, the state is putting out a lot of chaff, a lot of data, a lot of things. Again, as a person who takes copious notes, there are so many data points that they're just throwing out there without sort of any anchoring spot for these data. They are not, I would have assumed that after, Mr. Burgess, we would get Dr. Welsher, who would then, kind of bookend each other, and these supposed witnesses and experts would be done. I didn't expect that we would have a glassologist come in. That being said, the state has been utterly confabulating with their sort of placement of people and where they go with the trial. If the jury is not utterly discombobulated at the end of today, possibly needing an adult beverage, I don't know. I just know that there was a lot of things thrown at us today. But my takeaway is, if I can't trust you to write your education and own what you have or have not done, and let me put this out there, sir. my mother, who was working full time and had, 4 children, went back to college. We were a little bit older. I was out of the house, but she still had other obligations and life happened for her. But she still managed to get her degree while working and everything else that life threw at her. So I'm sorry. But where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm sorry, but you're just making, like, no, you haven't been allegedly enrolled since 2015. I'm sorry, but like, let the dream die. That being said, I appreciate all adult learners. I let my daughters know who are going into college, try to get into classes with adult students because they are not there to play, they are there to learn. That being said, that is my breakdown today. I'm going to go put ice on my brain because all of this has hurted. If I ever never hear like tech trigger stream time stream again, it will be too soon, but that will be tomorrow probably because we will probably get the testimony of Dr. Welsher. And if you think Alessi doesn't have a lot of things set out for this particular witness, again, these experts and Buchanan are the ones that the defense really needs to discredit. I think they did a pretty good job with Buchanan. I think they did a very good job with Burgess. So now they need to continue that pattern with Dr. Welsher. Well, I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate it. I know there are so many other channels that are covering the Karen Read case, and I am but a small fry for now. But I do appreciate every single one of you, lurkers, chatters, all of you, subs, not sub, just looking for, a place to find out about Karen Read. I appreciate it. So if you want to do the YouTubey stuff, if I have earned it, please chat, put a comment down, do a like, things like that, and do that for all of your favorite content creators. I know they would appreciate it. I will see you guys soon. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. But have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because kindness no longer equals doormat or naive and stupid. So don't lie to me either. Bye, you guys.